Guys, so welcome back to Lex Reads. So in today's video, I'm going to do my April wrap up. And you guys know with my wrap up, I talk about the books, the movies, and the music that I listened to the whole entire month. In the month of April, it was a good month. Everything I watched was all new, never saw it before, so that was really good. In the books, I did good. I did 4 books. That's good for me. So, yes. So, before I get started, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So, first, let's start with the books. Like I said, I read 4 books this month, and in April, I was on a Gray Hovington kick. You guys know that recently I got a Kindle back in January. It was never a Kindle girl, became a Kindle girl. And the reason why I really wanted to get a Kindle was because of Gray Huffington. I just was seeing so many posts about it. And also too, every time there was like a book that I wanted to read, especially like an independent, author, it was always available on Kindle Unlimited or on Kindle. And I said, you know what? Let me just break down and get it. Y'all know how much I love my Kindle. So I've been reading Gray Hovington's books since January. I started with the Eisenberg series, which in April I did finish it. So I only had to read Lake's book, watch like the last book, and then there is a novella. So I read Lake's book. He is the last, brother in the series, and like he was okay. Lake is so unpredictable, and he real rough. And you just don't know where he be coming from sometimes. Did like his love interest with Baisley. They had like known each other for years on years, and then he just like kind of played these games, and they, broke up, and she kind of was like, heard about that obviously, but like they always was in each other's lives, and then she realized, you know what, I really like this man. So let's just give it a second, try. And I would say Luca is my favorite. The first one was my favorite. So after I read Lake's story, I wanted to read the novella, which is Limb, that is the Eisenberg's parent story, which I was really excited about that because Peter from Comfy Cozy Up, she did a whole video of Gray Hovington's books, and she went down the line. It's such a good video, but she was saying that like if you're not into spice, this one you might kind of want to stay clear, but she was like at the same time you do need to read it because it sets up another series. But this one I thoroughly enjoyed. Girl, that situation with them parents, I was outdone because I'm like, oh, yeah, that one was really, really good. I love the relationship with their children, but that I was outdone with that situation. So, wait, no, I didn't read 4 books. I read 5 books because after I read Liam's story, it sets up the next series, which is the domino effect. Now, there's only 2 books in the series. I'm currently reading the second book, Law. But Ledge, he's connected to the Eisenbergs, right? I really liked his. Oh my gosh. That one is about Law and Ledge. They are twin brothers. And his love interest in the book, she has gone through so much. So, I mean, trauma like nobody's business, right? And so it keeps her in the house. She doesn't like to really go anywhere. She's just like a recluse. But she's like, in order for me to kind of come out of this, I need to go out and I need to kind of prove to myself I can go out. And also, too, I want to, be intimate with someone. So she does that with Ledge. A couple of months later, he sees her out again and she has a belly. Yeah, that's it. What I tell you, I really enjoyed this story. Oh gosh, it was so good. It was so good. I noticed so with Gray Hovington too, she will do like novellas in between, like the series. Like I know there is a novella of Ever, which is Luca's love interest, which I do want to read that one. And I know it's one for Baisley. Now, I really wanted to read Halo's story because that's a love interest, by the way, because her story was just so interesting. And I want to know a little bit, more and dive deep into it. And she does do that. And yeah, her story was really, really good. So that's it when it comes to the Gray Hovington. I read four books by Greg Hubbinson in the month of April. So the last book I read is our book club pick, and it is The Townsend Family Recipe Disaster by Shauna Robinson. Now, I got this from the library. What I've been doing is, if it's available at the library, the our book club pick, um I've been getting it from there, and if I really like the book, I will buy it. This is not a book I would want to own. It's a cute little story. It's if you read heavy books like I do, if you want something a little bit light, I would say pick this up. A little bit, a cute, light, simple read. And this story, it's a young girl. It's a young girl, and she's biracial. Her father has passed, and she doesn't really know anything about her father's side. Her father's black, her mother's white, and there's always she just remembers this. She just remembers a family reunion that he used to always go to, just him, because there is some tensions of him marrying, her mother, and she finds out that her grandmother has passed, and she's like, you know what? I'm gonna go and see, my dad's side of the family, and she does, and then she learns all of this, like, secrets and lies and stuff. And yeah, like I said, it sounds like it's a deep story, but it's not that deep. They had some, like, serious deep moments, but it was very light and fluffy, I would say. It's not, like I said, it's not a book I read on my own, but we had a really good discussion of the book, and I actually liked it a little bit more when we talked about it. So that's it for the books. Now, let's go to the movies. First is, actually, you guys recommended this. It's on Apple TV. It's called The Buchanans. Y'all, I enjoyed this so much. It kind of gives you a little bit of a Bridgerton vibe. And like I said, when you guys recommended, and thank you guys so much, because I really enjoyed this. And the second season is coming up next month, and I will be watching it. I have a love-hate relationship with Apple TV. Um, because sometimes they be having some good stuff, and sometimes it's like, no, why? But this I really did enjoy. And when I found out that it was actually a book, I was even more intrigued. So is Kate Copeland. She's known for The Awakening, because I was thinking about getting the book from the library. Only thing is, she didn't finish the book. She passed before she was able to finish. And oh girl, I don't like that. Even when they say, oh well, the author, they had, all their notes, and they went through, their notes. Still, it's not the actual author writing it, because she wrote like half of it, but yeah, the rest of it, the way it ended, she didn't write that. Again, it's set in, is it the is it the 1900s, I think either late 1800s or 1900s. It's like, and it's like the upper class. You have these girls that are trying to get into society, meaning they're trying to get married, and you have a family that has two daughters, and again, they're trying to get married. One thing I do love about this series is it's American. So that's one thing I liked. That's one thing I really did like about it, because a lot of those shows be like British or whatever. But yeah, this really good. I really recommend it. I'm so excited for the second season that's coming up in June. Next, this movie. I watched this movie when I was actually getting my hair done. It's called Secret Society. It's on Tubi. Y'all know how much I love me a good Tubi movie. I like them little hood movies. Love them, right? Y'all, I was outdone with this movie. And there is two more movies with it, which I need to watch that. It's called, like I said, Secret Society. You have these two girls. They're transgender. And they basically, I don't want to say pimp out the men, but they use men for their money. And it's a whole lot of stuff that go on, and I was outdone with the ending. I was not expecting that ending, but I mean, just imagine you messing with these men for their money, and you got to do certain stuff, and you just scheming and stifling, and girl, it's a whole situation, but it kept me on my toes. You hear me? I was talking back to the TV and everything. I need to I started the second movie, and you do want to start the second movie, because the first movie, it has a cliffhanger, and the way they ended, it's like, wait, what? So yeah, and I think this is old. This came out like 2022 or 2021, somewhere around there. So it's been, out for a minute, but I really did enjoy that. It kept me on my toes. Next, I watch a old Hollywood movie, and it is Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte. I got it from the library. So I really wanted to see this, and this is starring Betty Davis and Olivia La Havilland or something, De Havilland, and you have a woman. It's set in Louisiana. It starts off with a young girl's having like a little situation, a little affair, and her lover dies. And the lover dies, I think, at her house. They're like really wealthy, and he died at the house, and you're thinking, oh, maybe she did it. And so it starts off as like a flashback because she's like really young, and then it goes to the present day, and this lady is like, she's like a spinster. She still live in the house. She real mean, and she got her mind real off. But when you learn why she is the way she is, it is considered a horror film, even though you know the movies in them 60s and 50s, they don't be about nothing. Like that horror suspense, like when they be chopping arms off and stuff, it just looks so fake. It's actually laughable. They had like a scene where they like chopped the head off and like it rolled on the floor and it literally looked like a mask. It was, and I'm a scaredy cat. Y'all know that. Girl, I was laughing at that scene. But I really wanted to see this because back in the day, Betty Davis and Joan Crawford did a movie called What Happened to Baby Jane, which has nothing to do with Sweet Sweet Charlotte. It's just the same director, and it still has that same like suspense type, a little bit of horror. I wouldn't say Baby Jane is a horror. This one is kind of, yeah. Yeah, I really liked What Happened to Baby Jane. I like that better than Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte because I am a fan of Joan Crawford. She is one of my favorite old Hollywood actresses. Has that same kind of feel, so I want to see like, which one I like better. And like I said, What Happened to Baby Jane is really good. I like that better. So yeah, that I was in my old Hollywood bag. Love that. And then lastly, I went to the movies to see Minecraft. Mind you, I didn't want to see that. I just went with my friend. And I don't know anything about Minecraft. That don't do nothing for me. But I would say for someone that doesn't know anything about Minecraft, that movie, it it really kind of wasn't about Minecraft. I don't know, like you were in the world of Minecraft and you had obviously Steve, who is Jack Black. Now I like that because now I did like him as Steve, because I like Jack Black. But yeah, like I don't know anything about Minecraft. Don't want to know nothing about Minecraft. That'll do nothing for me. But like again, it I didn't learn anything about Minecraft basically. So that is it when it comes to the movies. So lastly is the music. Later of last month, I have been obsessed with Gypsy, the musical, because Tiny Desk, they did, some of the songs from the Broadway play, and I'm a huge fan of Audra McDonald. She's the one that's playing Rose. She's like literally the forefront of that show. I actually had the pleasure of seeing her live about 2 years ago, and her voice is amazing, like ridiculous how she can just sing. But she was fantastic. I love that song, Wherever We Go. But the girl that's playing her daughter, Jordan, I think her name is Jordan Woods. She has an amazing voice. Oh my gosh, so pretty. Like that whole cast, it looked like it just bomb. I really do want to see that, but I was on a Gypsy kick. I've been listening to I have been listening to the music. I have also been looking at interviews of the real, Gypsy Lee, and yeah. Next is an album that I got. It is The Whispers. Y'all know, old school. And this is just gets better with time. I wanted to get this because it has Rocksteady. I love that song. And In the Mood. And I think yeah, those are like the two. Um, the Whispers, they got some songs. And lastly, what I have been listening to in the month of April is the Jacksons. This is Triumph. And this has Can You Feel It? Heartbreak Hotel, and I think it's the only one that I really wanted. Yeah. Those are the two, especially Can You Feel It? Because I was a single. Wanted to get this in particular because I don't think I have an album that's just the Jacksons, because it's a difference between the Jacksons and the Jackson 5. The Jacksons, Jermaine wasn't in this. They added Randy. Yeah, really enjoyed this album. So yeah, guys, that is it for my monthly wrap up of April. I had a really good month. Proud of what I read. So yeah, guys, that's all I have for you, and I'll be back with more Black books. Bye.